What's up? What it do? How you doing? And I am back with another video. What are we baking up today, E&E family? I am making a pumpkin spice cake with a cream cheese frosting. Don't want to miss this. So let's get started. So we're going to start, and I have my recipe off to the side, guys, if you're like, what are you looking at? So we can't forget any of these delicious ingredients. Okay, so we're going to start with 1 cup of vegetable oil. It's 1 cup of vegetable oil. And if you do not have a stand mixer like I do, you definitely can do this by hand. Okay. So that is 1 cup of vegetable oil. We're going to get our sugars added. So we're going to add 1 cup of brown sugar and a ½ cup of white granulated sugar. I'm going to start with the brown sugar. And remember, when we're using brown sugar, we want to make sure that we get it all packed into the measuring cup. And it's okay if you're a messy Marvin when you're baking, because why? The best cooks, the messiest cooks are the best cooks, so that's okay. Okay, so let's get that packed down in there. Okay, so that's our cup of brown sugar. Next, it is a ½ cup of granulated sugar, white sugar. Okay. Next, we're going to get in 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. Shake it up a little, make sure it's all mixed up well. That's 1½ teaspoons. Yeah. A little extra for the road. Next, we're going to add 4 room temperature eggs. Remember, guys, when we're baking cakes, we want to make sure our ingredients are room temperature. So that is 4 room temperature eggs. And 4. Now, if you're a little nervous about getting eggshells in your batter, that is a valid concern. You can crack these open in a bowl and just add them 1 at a time. Okay. And then we're going to add 1 can of pumpkin puree. Okay. So we're going to get this mixed together. Get it mixed up well so everything's well incorporated, and then we're going to start with our dry ingredients. Okay, so we have that well incorporated. We don't want to lose any of that goodness off of our paddle. Okay. So, for our wet ingredients, and I'm going to take the bowl off of the mixer to do this part. So, for our wet ingredients, in our sifter, we're going to add 2 cups of flour. And I'm going to do a cup at a time. And our last cup, we'll add our baking soda, our salt, and our baking powder. Get that in there. Okay, and then this is our second cup. Okay, and to our second cup, we're going to add the baking soda, the salt, and the baking powder. That will be 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And as you see, I have an assortment of measuring spoons on this one. Okay, so that's 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. One teaspoon of salt. And then we are going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. Okay. I'm going to add a teaspoon rather, sorry, of ground nutmeg. Well, I can't get my teaspoon in the thing, so we're going to pour it out. That's a teaspoon of nutmeg. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of ginger. All the smells and spices that we love for fall time. I'm a spring and summer girl. Those are my favorite seasons. But I do like the fall for the colors and the aromas. Okay. So let's get that all mixed, sifted here through our sifter. We don't want any lumps, bumps, or nothing like that. Okay, and that's just our salt. Okay. And we're going to get everything back. We're going to get the bowl, rather, sorry, back on our mixing stand. And we're going to get it mixed up until everything is incorporated. And as always, crank this thing up slower. You're going to have pumpkin pie, cake, and flour all over your kitchen. Okay, so we have everything incorporated. You want to be careful not to overmix this because it will cause for a tough batter. So just until everything is incorporated, and then you can stop the mixing process. Okay, so let me move some of this stuff over so I can get my cake pan down here. So I just have a 9 by 13 rectangular pan. You could also turn these into cupcakes if you like. But this is how I'm making mine for today. And I'm just using a little Baker's Joy. It's a flour and oil mix in a can. Really simple, really convenient. So we want to be generous because we do not want our cake to stick. Let's get our pan all sprayed up. Okay, and that should be good. And let's get our paddle attachment off. We don't want to lose any of this goodness on this paddle. And before I pour my batter, anytime I'm baking a cake, before I pour my batter into the pan, I like to run my spatula through it, my spoonula, and make sure everything from the bottom got mixed in. Okay, and it looks like it did. So let's go ahead and pour. Everything in here. We don't want to leave any goodness behind. Okay. And then we just want to get everything in our pan evened out. So I just do a little shake, shake, shake like that. And then, excuse the noise, but I like to take my pan and make sure that everything is settled, no air bubbles. I just like to do that. Just like that. Okay, so we're gonna bake this in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes or until a toothpick in the middle comes out clean. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious cream cheese frosting that's gonna go on top of our pumpkin spice cake. Don't go nowhere. And now for our cream cheese frosting. So we're gonna start with 1 package of cream cheese, softened cream cheese. So you wanna make sure this has been sitting out for a little while before you add it. And that's just 1 package of cream cheese. Next, we're going to add 1 stick of softened butter. Get that in there. I'm going to push this down a little bit. Okay. Next, get a paper towel. Now, you can add 3, 4, 1, 2 cups of powdered sugar. It really depends on how sweet you like your frosting. I'm just going to eyeball it here. And I'm going to add about, for now, 2 cups. And then I'm going to taste it to see if I need to add a little bit more. Okay, so that's our powdered sugar. We want to add a pinch of salt, and really it's 1/8 of a teaspoon. So just a pinch of salt, like that. And you want to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm just going to eyeball this as well. I like a good vanilla flavor. Okay, so when I do this, I use my whisk attachment on my mixer. And we're going to start it off slow so we don't have powdered sugar all over the place. And then we're going to taste it to see if we need to add any more powdered sugar. Okay, so let's give it a taste and see if we need to add any more powdered sugar. Yeah, a little bit more. I'm just going to add the rest of what was in the bag. So that was probably about 2.5, maybe 3 cups of powdered sugar. Okay, let's get this incorporated. I'm going to give it just one more taste, just to make sure. Perfect. Doesn't need anything else. So let's get all of this goodness off of our whisk attachment. Okay. When we come back, we're going to frost our cake once it cools, and we're going to enjoy some pumpkin spice cake with a cream cheese frosting. Y'all don't go nowhere. So our cake has cooled, and we're going to go ahead and add our frosting. So there's no special way to do this. If you want to be fancy and get out a piping bag and pipe on your frosting, you are more than welcome to do that. I'm not doing that today. I'm just getting this frosting on here, getting it spread out evenly, just like this. And this is something fun you can do with your kids, your grandbabies, your nieces, your nephews. It's fun for the whole family. Bake a cake, sit back, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Okay. We're just going to keep putting this frosting on until we have the entire cake covered. Now let's cut a slice so we can dig into all of this deliciousness. Oh my goodness. I got a feeling this is going to be amazing. And yes, I'm singing in a video again. Nice generous slice. See if we can get it out without making too much of a mess. Oh yeah, I think we can manage. Okay. Look at that. Absolute perfection. Now let's get a bite. That is absolutely delicious. It's not overly spiced, like a spice cake. It's not overly spiced. The cream cheese frosting sets it off perfect. Oh my goodness. Absolutely delicious. And that's it for today, E&E family. Thank you for rocking out with me today. Try this delicious recipe. Your friends and family will not be disappointed. Check out the links below to learn early detection and prevention of breast cancer. Also, follow me on Instagram and Facebook. The links are in the description box below. And as always, E&E family,